there working, working. It's been a long time coming. I paid my dues. I put that work in. It's been a long time coming. I paid my dues. I put that work in. Welcome to the huddle. Each one reach one. Each one teach one. If you are that one, then you already know that you are enough. Enough to get it right when everything is going all wrong. It's been a long time coming, y'all. But we paid them dues. We put that work in. We know that your attention is the most powerful thing that you can pay. And if you paying me some attention right now in the moment or on the replay, I just want to say I appreciate you. Tonight gonna be a powerful show. I started off with that song, said it's been a long time coming. I paid my dues, I put that work in. Tonight is special, y'all. I got my confirmation and acceptance. I'm an author, y'all, the Honorable Trav P. Hero Training, the power of perspective. Out anywhere you could buy a book or an ebook. Put that work in, y'all. It's been a long time coming, but I'm an author. And I want to thank each and last one of y'all that encouraged me and pay me some attention. I do it because I know I'm one of the ones. I ain't the only one. I'm one of the ones. We all we got. We all we need. Want to give a shout out, man, to my executive producer, my wardrobe coordinator, my wife, Lakeisha. They say a woman make a good man better when she's worthy of being a reason for a man to strive. It's been a long time coming. I paid my dues. I put that work in, baby. And I thank you for being there with me and encouraging me and pushing me and enduring and sacrificing everything that it takes and be necessary to push a good man and make him better. Give a shout out to my home girl, the greatest co-host in the whole world, Alexa. Tell me something good.
We all we got. We all we need.
Come on, man. You understand what she's saying, man. Alexa, tell me something good.
We all we got. We all we need.
Tonight's word is vampire. Vampire. We only hear the word vampire in most cases when we're talking about a movie. There's a vampire movie that's on the trending topic called Sinners. So the concept of vampires is finna be prevalent in everybody's mind. But a vampire is real. The question is more powerful than the answer. Are vampires real? What is a vampire? Not from a movie perspective. So this hero training, when you understand how it works and you know your position in it, you can make it work for you. So even when we're talking about a movie is something that someone wrote that turned into theater. So in most cases, when someone wrote it, what are they really talking about? What is the point? So what is the point in a vampire movie? And is that point real? It's called comprehension. Do you comprehend the point? So a vampire movie, we know in real life, misery love company. Hurt people hurt people. The devil will come to seek and destroy. We know all of these things in reality. We know people that have filled these positions in our lives and others. We know that in our mind and concepts of God and devil, we know that we will allow each other to be devils and identify as a devil to each other and one another. But we also know we ain't going to let each other identify as God with each other. So we already give each other the power to destroy, to infect, to invite misery to company. This ain't deep, y'all. Is vampires real? Is vampires real? Alexa, what is the meaning of vampire?
A vampire is a supernatural or paranormal creature believed to be a reanimated corpse that feeds on the blood of living creatures. It is often described as a sinister being with superhuman strength, the ability to shapeshift into various creatures, and a penchant for haunting graveyards and mist-shrouded crypts at night. In folklore and fiction, vampires are ubiquitous, causing fear and panic among the living as they prey upon unsuspecting victims.
Alexa, what is the opposite of a vampire?
Antonyms for vampire meaning ghost include light, brightness, or being. For the meaning evil, devilish being or influence, some antonyms include angel or God. For more, ask me to give you more antonyms for vampire.
So we know that a vampire is someone that wants to invite company of misery. Someone that will come put your light out. Someone that will infect you with darkness when you're standing in the light. I'm wearing white tonight because they say white represents purity. So when you have a purity in you, from a movie standpoint, the vampire sees you as bait. Y'all know this real life, y'all. We know vampires when we see vampires. Not from the movie aspect. Alexa, what is the meaning of the cultivation theory?
The cultivation theory is a sociological and communications framework that focuses on the long-term effects of media consumption, particularly television. It aims to explain how exposure to media content, such as television programs, can shape individuals' beliefs and attitudes. The theory suggests that individuals' perceptions of reality may be influenced by the media, even though the sources of information may be fictional or exaggerated.
So when we're entertained by movies and television, and these writers are making points about real life, but they put it in an entertainment way to give us a euphoria, a satisfaction that we sometimes forget the point. So when we hear vampire, we think of a movie, we think of bloodsuckers with fangs, we think of all these things. But do we understand the point in real life? Y'all know they're real, don't you? So much that I asked the question, are you a vampire? Do you drain the life force out of others around you when you walk in the room? When someone calls you and say, hey, how you doing? What's up? Do you constantly already ready, packed and loaded to hit them with something negative to kill their positive momentum, to bring them down? Yeah, that's vampirism. This ain't deep, y'all. I want to talk about some real life stories. Because the opposite of a vampire is the light bringer, an angel, a God. But vampires have so much power because we can identify and label and be vampires to each other. But do we really understand we have the power to be the light, or angel, or God to one another? And if you realize that power, and I think you realize that power, that's why you paying me some attention in this here moment that we call hero training. Because hero training is how every role operates. And when you understand that, you bring the light, you bring the solution, you bring the angelness, you bring the God into every situation. And when a vampire is in the presence of that, they fret. The vampire can't handle the light. So vampires are real. So is a God, an angel, and a light. Two sides to every coin. When you stand up and walk in this here heroism, you become the opposition to a vampire. There's only three people in this here world: the hero, the villain, and the victim. Which one are you? One man's hero is another man's villain. Which one is your hero? Which one is your villain? Do you even understand that? Because if you don't understand that, this is key. You could very well be the vampire who's been bitten by a vampire, and you don't even know it. Vampires are very conning. They're con artists. Do you know what a con artist is? That's someone who has confidence and can trick you with their confidence. In most vampire movies, there's always seduction. One of the key elements of seduction is you invite someone into your space. They don't barge their way in. They don't force their way in. You invite them in. The light and darkness is determined by your intentions. What is my intentions once I'm in? If my intentions is to add value, to add light, to connect to a source, to be powerful, then I am that of a vampire slayer. I am the light. I am God. I am an angel. But if the intentions are not pure, they're not in your best interest. Ladies and gentlemen, we're dealing with a vampire on every level. They come to infect you. They come to drain you. They come to take something for you that you unknowingly are given. And they have no intentions of returning anything. Do you see and understand that vampires are real? If you saw Sinners or you plan on seeing Sinners, I ain't gonna spoil the movie, but it's some real life shit. In 2007, me and my brother, we had a show at Studio 74, March 20th. It's a vampire story. We was opening up for Lil Boosie. It was a powerhouse ticket. We had Boosie as the headliner. We had S-Dub, who's known as 3. We had Nam. And then we had me and my brother. And it was an industry night type of show. S-Dub and Nam had major record deals. Boosie was in his prime of Wipe Me Down. And there was me and my brother. It's 2 Charlotte born, Charlotte raised type of guys. They had the city on their back. So that night, the line was wrapped down the street. They was charging $80 to get in. But nobody showed fret. Man, we was in there. I had family on family, 50 people, everybody wearing laid-back shirts. We got in there this night, began to be epic. My cousin Pop, we had the DJ on lock. He played laid back all night long. We threw money in the crowd. Oh, we was making an epic movie. But something happened that night in there. My little cousin Mario came to me after we came off stage in euphoria, in spiritual pandemonium. I told everybody, I said, everybody get on stage till they tell us we can't get no more. This is our show. We gonna rock this. I had a hit song, Money Hungry. So in my city, we on the grind cause we money hungry. In my city, we on the grind cause we money hungry. And if you money hungry, then let me hear you say money, 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 money. And I'm talking about the whole city loved it. So we came off, my cousin looked me in my eyes. I said, what's wrong, man? He said, cuz they trying to kill me. I say, who? He said, they in here. They trying to kill me, cuz. Talking real life shit. I ain't talking make believe. So I saw the seriousness in his eyes. And that night, I drove there. I had my woman, Keisha, and I had my sister with me. And I saw the seriousness in his eyes, and we all had VIP, and I went in there with my cousins. I said, yo, he tripping, y'all. What he talking about? They say, man, he done came to everybody saying they trying to kill him. So I put him to the side. I said, man, you all right? He said, yeah, cuz. But I'm telling you, man, I ain't tripping. I knew something had. So I went again and I grabbed all my cousins. I said, look, y'all, man, y'all, we got to play close to him. And some of the people in there, I don't know if they was my cousins or not, but I know they say, man, we got guns in here. Everything going to be all right. I saw the seriousness of it. First thing in my mind, let me get my woman and my sister out of here. This was instantly after coming off the stage, right before Boosie went on. And I'm talking about with tears in my eyes about what this here laid back is. I say, I got to get up out of here. I say, I don't know what's going on. I talked to my older cousin. I say, man, make sure he all right, man. He said, I got him, man. I'm finna go walk him to his car and make sure he get out of here, man. So I went home and I woke up the next morning ready to call everybody and create this web of wow. And he said, man, you ain't watched the news. I said, no, what happened? They said, man, cuz was really tripping. Something jumped on him in there for real. I walked him to the car. He got in his car. And they had DOT cameras where he was going down the wrong way of 485, fast as he could go. And he went head on and hit a family, and he died and the family died. Talking real life, I ain't talking make believe. All I can remember was the look in his eyes when he came to me and said, cuz, they trying to kill me. They gonna kill me. There was a DOT camera on the news where they showed this car. And he was really running from something. He was really running from something. And it killed him. So when we talk about a spirit, a vampire, something that will bite you, jump into you, change your mind, take your soul, and make you move through this world in destruction, I ain't talking no make-believe shit. May 20th, 2007. I ain't performed a music of any kind in a nightclub. Laid Back is on my logo, but I don't even say it too much. I say Hood Soul. From that day, Hood Soul was created. I said if I'm going to use my gift for music, then it's going to always be in a place where there's a family environment, where there's love. So if the spirit jump on anybody, especially in my family, there won't be darkness, there won't be loud music, there won't be anything that will distract us, that we can't pay fully attention to someone we love. Because there's shit out here that will bite you and your children and the ones you love and destroy you. So it's just one strike in my soul, speaking out of the spirit, that crunk up what is the opposite of a vampire in me. Because if I knew then what I know now, when he came to me and said they're trying to kill me, I would have took him with my wife and my sister. And I had the power to. And that made me realize that I had the power to. So I value every person that stand before me with a living live spirit and soul that can sincerely talk to me in the moment. I don't take it lightly. Talking real life, I ain't talking make-believe. Talking about vampires, man. I'm talking about when they get bit and you don't understand what bit them. You don't know what bit them. You don't know when it bit them. But you know in that moment, this ain't the person you know. Brother Tate, you already know what time it is, man. I know you know what I'm saying. And I know you know I ain't playing. I met a brother, man, named Earl. It's a vampire story. And all of them ain't got happy endings. Shit real. I got a mutual call through a mutual friend that say I got someone that needs something hauled and moved. Are you available? Yeah, I ain't got nothing to do. I'll be over there. Hey, what's up, man? My name Earl. What's up, bro? None, man. I renovate houses. I got a limo service. I do a lot of things, man. Good to meet you, man. Oh, yeah, bro, we gonna build. Man, you seem like a nice brother. Yeah, man, I'm real with it. I feel it, brother. It was genuine. He became my friend. He was married. He had 2 children. We had something in common. Grew close with Earl. Earl owned the limo service. Earl drove the highest of the highest, the richest of the rich. The first year of CIAA, when it came to Charlotte, Earl was at my house. Puff Daddy representative called Earl to book the motorcade that when he would come down here for CIAA, then they tapped Puffy in to talk personally. Me and Earl sitting in there tripping. He listening to them talk, but he going in almost goddamn euphoria because, man, look what I got. Look at the big fish I got trapped. This shit real. Earl drove for the NASCAR drivers. Earl was exposing me to a lot of things in business and people. But one thing Earl taught me, he said, brother, you sincere. He said, out of all the people I done been around, You the real deal, Trav, and I respect you and love you for that. It's 2011. Earl had a 2011 Benz, a 2011 Escalade. I stayed in Trinity Park. If you know where Trinity Park is in Charlotte, they got a neighborhood store. Every time I would go to the neighborhood store, they say, man, I told everybody you was on. I told everybody you was somebody. I say, what you talking about, bro? They say, bro, ain't no way we gonna have a Maybach in the hood. And you ain't somebody. I said, nah, that's just my homeboy, man. I said, I ain't nobody, dog. I'm just a father up there trying to raise a family. They say, I feel you, cuz. So I'm just saying that to show you Earl was real. Earl wasn't so much regular to the eye. But he was just my friend that would come to my little old house over there on Trinity Road, where he would leave his $500,000 house and all these big cars and just come sit in a moment of solidarity and genuineness with me. Going somewhere with it. And as I got to know Earl, to understand his story, he said, cuz, I'm going to tell you, Virginia, man, I'm from Virginia. I'm a stone cold gangster, and I'm a stone cold killer, Trav. I said, go ahead on, Earl, we joking and shit. I said, he said, nah, I'm for real, man. I said, but that woman gave me 2 children, and it made me change my life. And I can sit here on this couch with you. That's why I respect you so much. He said, man, ever since I met you, man, I always had an idea of what it looked like to be a real brother, a real father, man, out here real, doing it right. And I ain't met nobody like you, man. And I'm just honored to come sit and chill with you in a space where I feel like I can let my hair down and just be me in the moment. So that's what me and Earl built. But Earl said, I'm a stone cold killer. I said, well, I hope I don't never see that side of you. I say, cause we would joke. I would say shit like, I'll beat your motherfucking ass, Earl. And we would laugh. But Earl told me his reason for change was that woman and them children. And life comes at you fast. Ain't nobody above the bullshit. We all go through some things to get to some things. Couple years go by, me and my family had Thanksgiving with Earl and his family. Earl had a big old house, nice kids, nice dog. I mean, they was living the life. Beautiful family. Tell a real life story. Earl's father-in-law got sick, and they had to make some choices, and the family kind of split. And Earl did all he could to make it work. And Earl told me one time, he said, Trav, man, something got my family, and I don't know what it is, man. I said, well, wherever it is, don't you let it win, Earl. You fight, Earl. Fight with all you got, Earl. And that's what our sessions became later on in the friendship. These are the true foundations of really what hero training is really all about. And when me and my wife would go through things and me and Earl would get to talking, Earl would get on my head. He ain't never take my side. I was like, Earl, you full of shit, man. No, I ain't. He held me to a standard. And that standard became a reflection of what I held him to. But Earl and his family split. They was going through some things, like many of us have. And one day Earl came and knocked at my back door. I said, what's up, Earl? He said, bro, I need you. I said, come on in, man. What's up? What's on your mind? He said, man, I need my family, man. He said, man, without my family, I'm going back to what I am. I said, what you talking about, Earl? He said, I ain't nothing but a stone cold killer, Trav. My daddy was a stone cold killer. That's all I know. I said, come on, Earl, man, don't talk that crazy shit in my house, man. I said, we realer than that. He said, man, I need my family, man. I need my family, man. That's the only thing that saved me, Trav. So time would go on and Earl would go through what he was going through. One session at a time. When he leave, he would be smiling. I could tell my brother I love you, and he could tell me back. And we know we both was crazy to each other, but it worked and it was necessary. And he held on to fight another fight. So one day he came, he said, man, I'm finna pull up. I said, come on, I ain't doing nothing. Boom, 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 boom. He had tears in his eyes. I said, what's up? He said, man, I'm gonna kill her ass. I said, come on, Earl, man, I ain't opening the door to this bullshit. So like I told you, a vampire. A vampire. But I'm a vampire killer. So we got to talking, and he was going off in his rant. And this was a powerful day because I ain't want to accept nothing he was saying. The light was stronger than the darkness. Everything he said, I said. I mean, we got into an argument, but it was necessary. This is how our friendship worked in a sense. But still, he said what he was going to do, how he was going to do it, and why he was going to do it. And during this time, I was doing WBND, a Christian gospel radio station. I was doing the show every Tuesday and Thursday, live on air with Moses Blue. And this was on a Thursday, and I had to go to the show that night. And after me and Moses' show, there was another show where there were 6 pastors from Charlotte. They had pretty big congregation. This was before podcasts. This was live radio when they was doing blog talk type of things. So they would watch me kick it on my show, and they would say, man, will you please stay over and do our show with us? Brother, we want some of that fire. But I had Earl in my spirit because he came and he told me what he was going to do, and he talked that crazy vampire shit. But I believe that God will overpower any darkness. So when my brother left smiling. My brother left in joy. My brother left in the light, and I felt like everything was going to be all right. But I had something heavy in my soul because I know I pulled my brother from the darkness. So when I went there to that show, they say, man, we want you to talk on our show. I say, well, what's the topic? They say, why don't men come to church? I say, with all due respect, I think I'm going to keep it moving tonight. They say, nah, man, we need you. I say, nah, man, I got something heavy on my soul, and I'm going to just be honest with y'all tonight. I talk this here talk on this radio station out of respect for my brother and love for my people. But if I talk about manhood, I can't play the Bible game and the God game. I got to talk real tonight. They say, well, that's what we want. That's what we want. So I went on the show and I talked. And I told them about how I pulled my brother out. And they say, this is where I come up with this saying to this day. I say, a man is as real as his reason. And nothing gives a man more of a reason than a woman. And if going to church don't solely in today's time identify with the reason that he's striving for his woman, whether it be to create stability, whether it's to create balance and harmony in the home, if a man don't see a direct reflection to his woman, he ain't doing it. And preacher man, you ain't giving him a good reason to show him how this helps him and his woman. So they ain't want to handle the truth. They say, who made you? I say, my mom and my dad. And I carried that fire, man. I carried that fire. Now, I almost ask myself to this day and to this moment, did Earl bite me? Because I went and brought some fire on that show that night. So much that it was the last night I ever stepped in that studio and ever did live radio on a Christian show. I said at that moment, I'll never play no more. I pulled the man out of the fire in the darkness. So back to Earl, that's just showing you how real this was. I ain't talking make-believe. These are life-changing moments about vampires and those who are infected with a spirit that changes the outcome of their reality. So about 2 weeks after that, Earl come again. He said, hey man, I got to travel to I think it was Virginia, where I got to travel there to see my family. He said, man, but I'm so heartbroken, man. She won't talk. She won't boom, 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 boom. And this was a man I told you in the beginning of the story who had it all, $500,000 house, $100,000 Mercedes, another $100,000 Escalade. But now over the years, he's split with his family, and he's staying with his mama, and he's still trying to run a limo service out of a not so new Suburban. Said, man, I'm gonna kill her. I said, come on, Earl, not here, not this again. Pulled him out again. He said, man, can I leave my guns with you? I said, hell no. Leaving this shit at my house. How real we is. He called me again. He said, brother, I want to tell you something. I said, what's up? I said, man, I thank everything you've been to me, brother. I said, but I just want to call and let you know you can't save me. And I'm thinking Earl bullshitting. This was on a Saturday night. On a Saturday night. No, this was on a Sunday. I woke up that morning to go to work. I had 4 missed phone calls from Earl. I said, what the hell Earl want? And I saw he had a video on Facebook. He had a manifestation where he went to kill his wife. But he ended up shooting her, and he had to shoot his son. He shot his son, and he killed the son. Then he drove to a graveyard and sat with his daddy and killed himself. Talking some real life shit. I ain't talking make believe. And that was one of the hardest things I had to accept. Is that me, the light, the opposite of a vampire, with all my intentions, I played a role in a real vampire movie. I played a role in the movie of a real killer. And on the soul of Lil Earl, I asked myself, the question is more powerful than the answer. What more could I have used my power? Over the years, I've been told, well, Trav, you know, that's fake, man. You can't, you know, and some of the things I can't explain when I understand, man, what it means when you're the opposite of a vampire. But you be in the room with them. You be in situations with them. That's why when I say, when I leave my house every day with the intentions to make it back in love, honor, strength, boy, I got to kill a few every day. Or at least infect them with the light. They ain't gonna bite me. They ain't gonna bite me. So when I look back, boy, I know how to identify them and I know how to see the signs. And I'm proud enough to be able to look a person in their eyes and in their soul and know what's real and know when it's real. And know when some people really is a vampire who will infect you, who will get inside of you and put something inside of you like a spirit that will kill your soul. And even though they kill your soul, you will still come back alive with a new mind, with intentions to kill another soul. Man, this is some real life shit. This ain't movies. Some real life shit. I remember one time, I just want to tell some vampire stories. I'm just going with the spirit. I had 2 jobs in my life. The paper mill and where I work now as an adult. At the paper mill, I was young, I was a prodigy. I was a supervisor at 27 years old. I was a true leader of men at that time and understanding. There was a guy that worked there. He was 1 foot in and 1 foot out. But after I didn't work there anymore, there was a gap between there and then. Something powerful happened to me. I understood who I was. It's one of the most powerful times of my life. But during that time, man, in between that gap, first part of my life, I was young, I had money, I had more money than I needed. I could do whatever I wanted to do, but I ain't want to do much. In this time between then, I didn't have any money, but it was necessary because I found out who I was. The statement that money don't make you, you make the money. I had to live that and go through that, to not have money, to not have a bank account, to hang my ego on, to realize that, damn, how can I still be this powerful without money saved? Do you know that now? But it was people, I guess, somewhat watching on the sideline, and this guy was one of them. So he called me one day. He said, hey, talking some vampire shit. He said, hey, man, I want to talk to you. I said, what's up, man? No, I called him. I said, you got a vacuum cleaner, man? I said, man, I need to clean some carpet, man. He said, yeah, I got one. I'm going to bring it to you, but I need to talk to you. So he come to the house. He said, man, I always know you've been top notch. And everybody know me, know what I stand for, righteousness. He said, man, but I just want to let you know, bro, if you're going through any struggle, I want to let you know I think you're too real to struggle in any way, and I'm here for you. I said, what you talking about? He had his eye on something else and somebody else. He said, I know you're real connected to somebody else. But I don't want to deal with them. And by the way, this dude dead and gone. It's real vampire stories, they don't live long. He said, but I don't want to deal with them. I want you to kind of be a middleman, but if you that middleman, you can handle anything that they can. He said, everything is all around you. He said, you fit the bill of our team. I said, what the fuck you talking about? He said, everybody family men, everybody got homes, everybody got a structure to their self. He said, you're going to be surprised if you get in. I said, nah, brother. And I felt disrespected. I said, man, how the fuck you going to come at me like that and you know where I stand? He said, bro, I'm just trying to help. I knew he was a vampire. Let me show you how vampires work. For 2 weeks, all I could dream of, do it one time, do it 2 times. Come on, Trav. It's sweet. You know you can trust him. Almost like I want to cover my ears and say, why did this motherfucker come to me like this and try to put this? He trying to bite me. I'm fighting the urges and the temptations because as a man now, I'm feeling so vulnerable financially that I ain't never felt this in my life. So he know where I was weak at the moment. And he tied it to my ego. So I'm fighting the temptation. I'm fighting the doorways of the invitation. But I say, hold on. What's the opposite of a vampire? I'm a light. I'm a main character. Within a year, I got a phone call from him. He said, man, I'm moving, man. I'm leaving my family, man. We're separating. Will you come? I want you to come to the crib. I just happened to have been going that way, so I stopped in. I see police, I see sheriffs, some real life shit. I ain't talking make-believe. They wasn't at work. They was at their friend's house helping them move. That was the surprise. That was the protection. That's the fucking level I'm talking about. In that same year, the other link in prison, boy, I stood on my grace. I stood on my light. I stood on my guard. What would have happened if I got bit? And it taught me how to identify. It taught me how to identify. That was 16 years ago. Do you know how to identify? Do you know when someone's intentions? Most popular thing everybody talking about is Shannon Sharpe. Turn the curve. Fucking vampire. I hear social media arguments to say, man, once they 18, they grown. You can't say that's wrong. That's just an older man. Man, fuck what you talking about. You got morals and principles in this world. And if you don't understand that, then that's a reflection of this here world we live in, full of motherfucking vampires. Because everybody can agree that we can be vampires, but we can't agree that we can be angels, God, and light to each other. So everybody rationalize why it's okay. To be 60 fucking on a 19-year-old, whether she's white, black, Asian, or whatever the fuck, don't you realize that she have been destructed somewhere in her spirit and soul at the tender age of 19 to fuck your old ass for anything? There's no equation that she could be in a healthy state. Nowhere she's been bitten. And the fact that you don't understand or empathize with a 19-year-old, you don't think vampires real. You one of them. See, Shannon Sharpe, 3 weeks ago had a show with Jess Hilarious. And I didn't watch the video, but I'm telling you, there's some real spiritual shit Just so happened when I clicked in, they was at a segment where they was talking about the age difference. And she was joking with him saying, yo, you can't mess with them young girls. And he said, no, I live by the rule. Half your age plus 7. So they sat there and he act like he couldn't even goddamn count. He couldn't even do the math. So I think that his number came out to be like 38. And he was like, yeah, that's about right. I don't go too much further than that. That's about right there. So on his show, Club Shay Shay, he's showing he a motherfucking vampire. Because he talking to someone eye to eye, flesh to flesh, breath to breath, and you motherfucking lying from your motherfucking soul. And I gotta say it like that because this is a motherfucking vampire. And any motherfucker who's 60 years old and goddamn a predator on a 19-year-old on any fucking level, because a 19-year-old has been bitten and her virtue has been destroyed if that's her value at 19 motherfucking teen. Do you understand what I mean? And if you don't think vampires are real. You don't think they're spiritual people with intentions to destroy and destruct. You don't believe that. You don't believe that your 16, 17-year-old daughter leaves your house in purity of the things and principles that you're putting in her mind, spirit, body, and soul. You don't believe that there's a 60, 30, 40, even another 19-year-old motherfucker with bad intentions that has no light in there, no God in them, no type of goddamn intentions of building her. That would destroy your baby. You don't believe that? You don't think that's real? When I say fucking vampires are real, fuck the movie. We're talking real life. We're watching this man lie on his show. Predators, vampires. I'm already cussing anyway, so let me keep it real. Kanye West sucked his cousin dick till he was 14. Ain't no other way to say it. And we want to say, oh, he mentally crazy. Oh, he this. Oh, he that. He's every living male that has ever sucked a dick for any reason. Any reason. Ain't no real reason. Ain't no right reason. Any reason that a man has ever sucked a dick. A vampire bit him somewhere. A vampire bit him. If you don't care enough to know who bit him, when it bit him, why it bit him, and God damn it, oh my God, you probably don't think this shit real. You got to wake up every day and protect your neck. You got to wake up every day and teach your children how to protect their neck. A vampire don't force their way in. You invite them. The opposite of a vampire is to have God, to be a light, to be a bearer of goodness. So the flip side of that, can you beat a vampire? Can you kill a vampire? Can you live to have a testimony to teach someone how to identify a vampire? See, I gave some real life stories, man, I'm going to turn them into movies one day too. And they going to be some badass movies. But my soul hope people get the point. Because all this shit real. All of it's real. Art is an imitation of life. Brother Kamiron, what's going on, brother? I want to tell you something, brother. This real shit. April 24th, 2025. I'm an author. I'm a real author. And I say this to say, I thank you. And it's some real backwards, inside out vampire shit. This ain't no vampire shit. This is the God type of thing, but it worked the same way. You asked me a question 2 months ago. What's the purpose, man? The question is more powerful than the answer. You say, man, why you put all that? Why you type all that? Staying here today as an author because of that question, brother. I've been writing a book the whole time. And now I ain't got to tell you that. I asked you to buy that motherfucker. So thank you, brother. You inspired. You ignited. You infected. You propelled me. One of the things we used to always say, man, what you got to prove? You gave me something to prove. And I thank you for that, man. So on the flip side of that point, just as much as a vampire can destroy, see, the opposite of that is God, is an angel. You can infect someone that makes them feel up, grow, and go some more. So which one are you, a vampire, a devil, darkness, or are you an angel, God, and light? We are human beings, either or. We are humans being either or. A God, an angel with light, or a vampire, a devil in darkness. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out. He ain't want to, 60-year-old man ain't want to be seen with the young white 19-year-old in the daytime. Nowhere. I promise you, nowhere. 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 They see each other at night when the freaks come out. See how that work? You see how that work? All them industry people, vampires. All of them done been bit and will bite. You keep hearing this over and over and over and over. You keep getting example, exposure, example, exposure. Do you really believe and understand? I had a vulnerable moment with one of my homeboys, Trey. And we was talking about the book and how much anticipation I got and how much I've been putting in this work for years and years and years. And he said, Trav, it's going to pay off. I said, Trey, why is it taking so long? He said, well, man, I'm going to be honest with you, Trav. It's like people look at you and they see you kind of on the same level they is, so they maybe feel like, why should they really believe what you're saying when you on the same level as them? He said, now I know you. And I know you're exceptional. I say, fuck that. The ones that matter know that too, Trey. He said, but everything is on our surface, man. All they know is you still get up and go to work. If you really knew something, you wouldn't have to do that. I said, but Trey, even if all my dreams manifested where they are, I'm still going to get up and go to work. I'm still going to get up and do something. Ain't nothing going to change that. I'm still going to be a man. He said, man, but you know, like I said, Trav, everybody ain't going to see it. And I get what he was saying, but I'm in a vulnerable moment. Well, like you say, sometimes I like to give, hey, look, I like to give the trainer the heavy bag, and I tell him to beat me up with it. Make me tough. So I said, what's crazy about that is, see, money don't make you rich. Every story, every vampire story I just told you, these were rich men. I didn't say that in the story, but these were rich men. These were rich men. It's dead and gone and destroyed. Not all the money they had couldn't protect them. And it didn't stop them from being a vampire. So it makes me sad that I can speak from my soul in an unconditional, intentional truth. But because I don't wear a vampire costume and freak you at night, you can't believe in the light. That's some hardcore heavy shit. That's some hardcore heavy shit. That's why it's easier to be a vampire than it is to walk in this here light. That's why it's easier to be a freak in the day. It's easier to be a freak at night than an angel in the daytime. Deceiver. Yeah, cut the lights on so I can deceive. When you go to a nightclub, it's always dark. It's a foundation of deception. Vampire. Which one are you? Which one are you? That's some real shit. Some real shit. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm gonna be dropping a link this week. Pay attention and wait for it. It's gonna be a powerful book. My intentions of this book is from the time you open the first page. It's 228 pages till you get to the last page. I don't believe this. I know this. Something gonna happen in your mind, in your spirit. And it's gonna come out in your bodily expressions. I intend for my words and my voice to vibrate in your soul so that you feel them just as much as you hear them. I intend to put you under a spell for you to believe in yourself, have confidence in yourself, gain understanding of your position in truth, and truly understand how truth works. And you can substitute the word for truth, for God, or whatever you need to, whatever that is that makes you thrive in the right intentions. But I intend to put you in a spell that keeps you waking up every day running the play. And I know for a fact, hero training, the power of perspective, is another tool for those intentions. If you ain't ever showed me no love, help me help you. That's the slogan for this book. Help me help you. I mean, the same help that I'm helping you is the same help that I need you to help me with. We all we got, we all we need. I have grown into a better me. I'm growing, baby. I'm better than who I used to be. I want to give a shout out to some good brothers. That's the light. That's true angels. That's true gods in the flesh. Give a shout out to my brother Crump, my brother Wood, Winston, my brother Munt, brother Kamara, and brother Tate, brother Blow, brother Adrian, brother Black, brother Bam, brother E, my wife Keisha, my son King, my daughter Journey. I want to give a shout out to Miss Gwen. It's real, man. These people bite me with love and infect me with the venom that keeps me striving. Yeah, that's what a God do to another God. That's what an angel do to another angel. And that's the army that I want to keep it going. The same way they over there biting people, infecting people, destroying people, misery, love, company, all that negative shit that we understand. I'm over here trying to create an army in an infectious type way that if I could get the same type of intensity, that if you come around me, I'm going to inspire you to have love, dignity, grace, respect, integrity, compassion. Man, I want to infect you so that you infect somebody else, and they infect somebody else, and they infect somebody else, till we say, man, these God people out here infected so much that they infected more than the vampires. I'm talking about, man, there's something happening in the world. It's like dignity coming back. Man, we got young men and women who really want to be parents, who going into order, who doing things right. Man, oh my God. That's what we need out here. That's what we want. So kick a vampire ass. That's my closing statement. Kick a vampire ass tomorrow, tonight, and the day after that. Love will prevail. The light destroys darkness. But darkness is necessary for a light to be utilized in its full potential and capacity. The light don't look so bright when it's in the light. It get bright when it's around darkness. So if you truly got love, identify the vampires and see if you can infect them with some light. I love you. Good night.